Lover's Lane has partnered to help establish a hospital in Liberia called Zoge Hospital through the help of Peter and Betty Wieto, who are now members of Lover's Lane but have since returned to their country in order to run this hospital. The hospital is in a remote area of Liberia in Nimba County, and it reaches hundreds of people a day from all over that otherwise wouldn't have access to necessary medical care. In 2013, Lover's Lane raised $75,000 so that we could buy an ambulance for this hospital, because people are walking, from all over to come, and to have an ambulance to go out and help people get to the hospital just increases the care. And so in 2013, Reverend Krista Corey, who is on our staff, and I decided to go to Liberia, to this remote village, to Zoge Hospital, to dedicate the ambulance. And it was incredible. The ministry, the medical care that they're doing is incredible. But I want to tell you a funny story about what happened to me personally and how God used that trip to really transform my life too. So the Sunday before, we're leaving on Monday morning to go to Liberia. My life group, we'd been going through a study called 7 by Jen Hatmaker. And really it's about fasting. It's about fasting from food and fasting from clothes and fasting from spending money and fasting from, this and that. Well, that Sunday night we were studying about fasting from clothes. I had already packed my humongous suitcase full of clothes for the week to wear in Liberia. But in the book, Jen Hatmaker suggests that you try to wear 7 articles of clothing, and that's it for an extended period of time. So as we were studying about this, I said to my life group, there's no way that I'm going to be able to do, this fast of only 7 articles of clothing, because I'm going to Liberia tomorrow. So I'll just donate some clothes when I get back, and that'll be enough. I guess God had other plans, because Reverend Chris and I landed in Liberia, and we get to the hospital and all the suitcases have come around except for mine. And so I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? My big bag with everything in it never comes. And they said it probably will be here in a couple of days. But we go to the hospital, which is super far out. There's no way that we could come back. So I left with a pair of, pajama pants in my bag, a t-shirt, 1 extra pair of underwear, and that's literally it besides the clothes that I was wearing. So we get with Peter and tell him what happens. And so he says, okay, well, we're going to the market. We go to a market and he says, you will have this dress, and this dress, and give the man $30. I said, okay. So I got these African dresses, and I ended up, once I settled in, and I realized that I had literally 7 articles of clothing. I had the shirt and pants that I was wearing, 3 dresses, and the extra shirt and pants that I carried in my carry-on, and 1 extra pair of underwear. So I ended up just washing out the underwear with shampoo that I went to the store and bought every day and just hanging it up. But as I was in my bedroom in Peter's home, I was able to stay in Peter's home. These women from the village came and they started singing outside of my window as a way to welcome me. And I'm just in this, pit of wallow that I don't have any clothes. I'm not super comfortable wearing the African dresses and all of that, but I get up, I put on my African dress and go out to greet them and realize that my 7 articles of clothing is more than most people in this village even have. And all of that stuff in our lives, it made me realize all of that stuff, it just doesn't matter. What matters is what God does in us and through us. What matters is Jesus' love for us. What matters is that God has created me, and God has created you, and God has created those women and the people who come to that hospital uniquely and beautifully and with a purpose. And the stuff around us sometimes can hinder our ability to see how God is moving. So that week that I went around in my African clothes and not much else, turned out to be one in which I was really grateful. And it turned out that I was able to connect to the community in a way that I might not have been had I not been wearing the traditional African clothes. So for that, I am grateful. I'm grateful for the work of Peter and Betty Wieto in Liberia, and for their family here who continues to help lead our Heart of Africa service.